been really nice. That's the whole thing about Arizona. It's just a fun time. It's an opportunity for guys to get away, put the flip-flops on, put the shorts on. For those who are wearing skinny jeans now, you probably burn up in skinny jeans. That's not my style. I'm too big for skinny jeans.
No, you can still wear skinny jeans.
No, I wouldn't get them past my quad, so. Might be arrested for that,
Now, I know you're still active on Twitter, living in Philly, obviously. I mean, I follow you and people, and then you have a lot of opinions. Now, the Eagles just made a coaching change, and
Right.
I know you have been very, very positive
Yes.
toward the new head coach, and then after the change of Chip Kelly. And a lot of people are like, is that Donovan McNabb just being cool because he knows Doug Peterson, or is that the reality? Because we don't know whether he's going to be a great head coach. Nobody does, but obviously
True.
you like him a lot.
Well, it's a little bit of both. I have a personal relationship with Doug. Doug was a guy that sort of was my mentor in the beginning of the West Coast Andy Reid era, and I got a chance to learn a lot of how to prepare, how to be a professional quarterback, following behind Brett. So I learned a little bit of what Brett was doing, positive and negative, and tried to just add that into my train of thought each and every day. And then his progression of obviously being from a backup to quality control guy with the Philadelphia Eagles to a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator in KC. We see the success that they've had over there at KC, and I had an opportunity to call the St. Louis Kansas City game last year. And for me, it was an opportunity to sit back and see some old faces, but more or less now on the other side. Now I'm sitting in the interviewing Doug and talking about different things about Alex, how he wants to approach different games, how he prepares. And knowing that and becoming now the head coach, I know what Jeffrey Lurie and those guys were getting. So I thought it would be a good move. I was just weary of, if the decision was made basically off of bringing in a guy who was a part of that run we had and trying to bring that back. If it wasn't so much about his talents, but just to bring somebody who knew about that culture and try to get that culture back to Philadelphia.
And obviously one of the things that a lot of people think that Doug Peterson is going to do is Andy's the knock is that clock management's not as strict. Is Doug Peterson going to do the same thing in Philly? And the bottom line
They do
is
realize we've been to 5 NFC championships and the Super Bowl and we're the top 3 teams of a decade and winning. And then we just go over one clock management game. For them too now. But I think Doug will handle it the right way. First and foremost, he's got to figure out if Sam is his guy, or will he go out and try to get him a quarterback. And I think that's the first step toward the success of Doug Peterson. They have some talent out at the skill position guys. They need I think Fletcher Cox re-signed, and that was a smart move for them. I know they got Ertz and
got a new
their tight end, Selleck.
And Vinny Curry, they got his back.
So I just think for this football team, it's important to keep the nucleus of guys still intact, and then you build from within the draft and a little bit of free agency to sprinkle things in there. But it's got to start for the draft to build for success.
Now, we're talking to Bruce Smith, and obviously Buffalo hasn't had success since that era.
Right.
Because the hardest thing, as you know, is getting the quarterback.
Right.
They haven't been able to get a guy to replace Jim Kelly, and now the Philadelphia
Isn't that funny that we're still bringing Jim Kelly? That's just like in Philadelphia, they bring my name up, but Jim is like 10 years older than me.
I know. They haven't made the playoffs since '99. I mean, that's a great fan base and a great franchise up there, and those fans, they're suffering too. They want to even see a playoff game. Forget about.
Well, that's the thing. They want to see a playoff game. I thought Tyrod Taylor will bring something different to what we've seen in Buffalo, and I think he will next year. Now they have to figure out if they're going to rally behind Rex. You hear Mario Williams. You're hearing other guys complain, talking about they're tired of dropping and they're used to rushing the quarterback. Listen, his defense has been top 5 defenses over the last however many years. Run the defense, create turnovers, get the offense the ball. The offense will play a lot better with Sean McCoy, with Woods, with Sammy Watkins, the tight end, and Clay. They have the pieces. Now they just have to sprinkle in some more offensive linemen, some support back in the defensive line, and I think Buffalo will make the playoffs next year.
And they got to hope that Tom Brady retires soon so that he gets out of the division.
Well, I mean, they can win the division. Look what the Jets did versus New England.
Yep.
I mean, who thought Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was formerly of the Buffalo Bills, would beat them like that? And so the New England Patriots, you can beat them in the regular season. It's just try not to play in New England in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Then that's the problem.
What about this game? Everybody thinks, Carolina's obviously the better team overall in every facet. How does Denver win this game, though?
Denver wins this game if they can create 2 or 3 splash plays meaning Emmanuel Sanders getting over the top or Demaryius Thomas running a wide receiver screen for 65, 70, and defensively create some turnovers, getting the interceptions, fumble recoveries. If they can do that and kind of get their offense in the short field and good field position, I think Denver wins. If they can't stop the run, and that's with Cam Newton, that's with most of these guys, Stewart, whoever they put back in running back, they can't stop the run and stop who we all know who's going to get probably about 8 catches in Greg Olsen. If you can't stop them, it's going to be a long day.
Plus, they got to stay on the field. I mean, against New England, they were going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out,
right,
trying to hold on to the lead, and they luckily hung
because they couldn't block what? The interior.
Right.
That's the problem for Denver that not a lot of people are focusing on. When Brock Osweiler was in there, they weren't blocking very well. They weren't catching the football. It wasn't Brock. It was everybody else around him. So those issues haven't changed. Demaryius is still dropping passes. Emmanuel Sanders is still dropping passes. The offensive line was getting beat versus New England. How good do you think Starla Tui and Short and Jared Allen are coming off that front? If they can't block them, Peyton's going to be sliding in 7-step drops.
Well, we just hope, as fans, because I don't care about either team, that it's not an ugly game. I mean,
right,
we don't want to see Peyton Manning go out in an ugly finish.
Do you? Let me ask you your pick for this game and why.
I think Carolina's straight up going to win, but I think everybody's betting on
that. Who do you want to win and why?
I think Denver can win the game, but as you mentioned,
you just mentioned two things.
A lot of things can happen. I'm saying, I want this to be a good game.
Yeah.
And I think if there's a likelihood of it being ugly, it's Carolina making it ugly by getting to
more in Carolina's favor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a blowout, I don't think Denver's going to blow out Carolina. I think the possibility is the other way because of the potential of mistakes. If Peyton get knocked out, not being able to throw the ball down the field.
Well, he can't do that anyway.
Oh, I know he
without
can't.
Being knocked out. Yeah. I mean, he can't do that anyway without being knocked out. But
I think Carolina's going to win.
The whole thing. Do you see this possibly being like that Seattle game?
Yeah,
think about it now.
I hope so.
Think of the X factors in this game.
I'll
break it up.
Because my knowledge is phenomenal, man.
It's outstanding. You got the brainstorm. That's why you ball. Think of the dynamics in this game, the X factors. Go with Seattle, and now let's compare to Carolina. Let's start with the kickoff. Percy Harvin. I played with him. It's unbelievable what he does. Running the kickoffs back, all the kickoffs that he had in that Super Bowl, Ted Ginn's the same thing. Splash player, Percy Harvin on offense. What he did against Denver with the kind of the sweeps and everything else. Ted Ginn, same thing. The running back, Marshawn Lynch, Jonathan Stewart, same thing. Quarterback. If Cam can play like Russell did on third down, I think they converted maybe 68, 70% of their third down. If they can play that way, and then defensively form the physical aspect that we've seen the Legion of Boom do on their wide receivers, which there are two different secondaries. But we had the linebacking core that could really do that, like you saw Cam Chancellor do. That's Davis. If Davis is healthy enough to play and they do what the Legion of Boom did, I think it's going to be a long day for Denver.
I agree. Our last thing, and one of the guys that you played with, and now he's a coach with the Eagles with the right, Greg Lewis. And I remember I remember the Green Bay game sitting in Lambeau Field, man. Greg had a tough day that day.
He did.
But how about as a coach?
Yeah, G. Lou, I've talked to him a couple times. Hank Fraley and I have talked many times when they both were coaching at San Diego University, and then I think he went to San Jose State. Then G. Lou was in New Orleans with the Saints, I think recently, this last year, past 2 years. G. Lou is a knowledgeable guy, understands what to expect, played under Bill Belichick, so he knows that aspect of things. But his receivers have been effective. So he's going in with Aguilar, he's going in with Matthews. He has a stable of guys who can make plays when given that opportunity. They just need to learn the ins and outs, the intricacies of do I need to run to the DB to get separation? Make a move, create separation before you even get to him.
And catch the ball.
And catch the ball. Thing, right? Exactly. Matthews had a lot of drops this year.
Yeah, but he's still a stud, though.
He is.
What about
But
Huff?
can he play outside?
Huff? Josh Huff.
I'm not down on him by any means. They seem like they got all receivers the same height, and they all look alike. Aguilar and then Huff, it's like which one is who? But, all they have to do, they run great routes. They have some speed. They have that big playability. They just have to get open and catch through the football. That's the whole thing. You drop a football, it doesn't matter how fast you are.
Donovan McNabb, now you doing anything special in town? You're just hanging?
Yeah, I'm doing everything special. I'm here talking to you, talking to a few other things. I'm promoting a few things, including myself. Don't know what they all are, but it sounded good coming out.
Right.
But no, I'm just having fun.
You're not doing a puppy bowl with Bruce Smith at halftime?
No, I'm not doing that. Playing a little flag football though tomorrow.
You gonna do the
so I get a chance
Warriors thing?
Yeah, I get a chance to sling it around a little bit. So I look forward to that.
Beautiful. Well, it's good to see you, man. Thanks.
Thank you for having me. That's a great looking sport coat you got on there.
Thank you, man.
It fits well on you. Yeah. Oh, Ralph. Wow, I paid a little bit of penny for that too, huh?
Went up to my buddy up there in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Frank Ventresca.
Oh, Ventresca. I know that's a big check right there.
Very cool. Donovan Midnight, thanks, brother. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Donovan, you've been getting major love here.
Oh, man.
We were periscoping that live, too.
There you
All
go.
over the world, man.
People always act like they like you, but, sure. I paid them to be here. It's always good after the show.
I get a lot of love in the Bay Area, man. That's my town.